welcome to Teentsy Vintage. This is Teresa. Today we are working on a piece of watercolor paper that had some stuff on it, but you know what? The back didn't have anything on it, so we're going to use that today. I also had a bunch of, I had some random paper. Gosh, words are hard. Anyway, I made this over a week ago, and the reason I didn't post it very quickly after that is because, well, I made this when I was feeling really sad and frustrated and a little defeated. And it's good to make art when you're feeling vulnerable like that, but it's also really hard to share it sometimes. It's very easy to share the fun and exciting and cool things, but when it comes down to sharing things that are not so cute and bright and cheery, it's a little harder for me. One, I didn't want it to be something that was, cliche, and I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me. It's just, sometimes you feel bad and you make some art to get that emotion out and to express yourself, and you feel better. So yeah, that's what I did here. I'm starting off with a collage of old book pages. This is just some trashy novel I found at the thrift store. It was large print, which was great because it means the text is a little bit bigger. And while the text itself doesn't really matter, it's nice to have something a little larger. So I'm picking out some ink here. I'm not sure what colors I want to use, but purple is calling to me. So here I am picking out a few colors in different media. So this one is just a good old acrylic ink, and the other two that you see over there on the right is uh, Dina Wakley media paint, acrylic paint. So I'm adding water to get this ink to run because I wanted to have that runny, splattered, chaotic look. I really just wanted to get some color on the page. And at the beginning, you can get really messy and just have fun. So here we go, getting this purple going, and I'm really liking it. It's a pretty contrast with that gold. That gold is leftover from another project. I don't even remember which one, but sometimes when you have leftover paint or ink, you can just use a random piece of paper, in this case a book page, to get that color on it and use it in a future project. So here we are. Okay, so I happened to spot a little bit of text that I really liked, which will pop up later, but to keep it untouched, I put a little piece of very low tack tape over it, and that's going to protect it from all the paint I'm about to add. All right, so now we've got the first paint, we've got some water added to it to make it transparent, and the more water you add, the more transparent it will become. And I'm just going around the page here. I have nothing in mind. I really just sat down and just started gluing and painting. And it was like, purple? Yeah, purple. Let's run with it. You know why? Sometimes you just got to go with your gut. And yes, this looks like a crazy mishmash. And frankly, the end result is also a crazy mishmash. But it's my crazy mishmash, and it helped me feel better. So at the end of the day, you know, uh, just get out some paints. Start going. Just start making marks. Paint on the paper. And if it turns out and you really hate it, that's okay. That's okay. There is nothing wrong with painting whatever you want to paint. Is this my greatest work? Heck no. In fact, it's a little embarrassing. But I don't care. The point of this video is to share with y'all that I use art to express myself. And sometimes that expression is very coarse and has rough edges and isn't exactly as pulled together as I might like it to be. But the process of making this art is what matters. And it's just very therapeutic to go in and get a paintbrush and just start painting on a page. not having to worry about perfection. In fact, never worry about perfection. That's not what we're here for. We're just here to, make color, get it on the page. And if you want to make something and then tear it up or burn it afterwards, go for it. Go for it. You want to make something and share it with the world, you can do that too. So that's that's what I'm doing right here. Woo! All right, so I've put down a bunch of purple paint, and now I've got a Stabilo Woody, and I am just drawing some lines, some squiggles, some X's, just making a bunch of marks. This is a water-soluble pencil. They're great. They're really fat, so they've got a big nib on the end, and you can make wonderful marks with these things. And then, add a little water, get that blurry, smudgy look that I love. Um, they're great. I think woodies are for kids apparently, but I love them. I have quite a set of different colors, but on this one we're going to use black, and I think we're going to use orange a little later. Yeah. Oh, there's the orange right now. I just wanted to add, we're going in here with a pink. I think this one is magenta. Oh gosh, what are my colors? Let me see here. I've got them nearby. What is this color? Yeah, magenta. And I just want to point out one thing to future consumers of Dina Wakley paints. I used Blackberry and Eggplant at the beginning. Those are my two purples. Gotta say, they are very similar. So, frankly, I would only get one or the other. Wouldn't buy both colors again. Blackberry is a little more of a purple, while Eggplant, gosh, it's more muted, I guess, but honest to goodness, they're the same dang color. Anyway, now I'm using the orange acrylic ink. Paint. No, this is paint. Sorry. Using the orange acrylic paint here to go in. Now I added a little pink, and now I'm bringing in the orange. So it's kind of a sunrise or sunset transition that I'm going for here. Um, just putting it in. Any white spot that's left, I'm covering it with orange. And I'm going in with different amounts of the orange. So some of these spots will be very light and translucent, and then other spots are going to be much darker and opaque. And I'm just using the tip of the paintbrush here, just for a teeny tiny amount. Not adding water to the paint, but using a wet brush. And you can get a lot more control if you do that rather than using the whole brush and a lot of water, if that makes sense. So in this case, I didn't want to do large areas on my canvas here. I wanted to do very specific spots, and when I needed to spread that orange around or to thin it out, I just added more water. But I added it to the brush, not the blob of paint. So that's something you can try, is to just control how much water you're adding. And you can always take it away too. If you get a spot that's not that great, just get your paper towel. It will absorb it right up, and you can go back and add what you want to add later. Yeah. But yeah, anything that was white is getting covered up now with orange. And that way, the white coming through the orange will really make it pop. And yeah, at this point, this is a wild composition. It's just all over the place. But I'm having a blast just adding color here and there. So if you start with your big areas first, you can go in and fill in your small areas and have much more control. Yeah, all right. So far, so good. I want to make sure that everything is dry before I move on to my next steps. And that just helps you keep your colors clean and keeps things from blending together that you don't want to blend together. Orange and purple do not blend together very well, everybody. Little color theory 101. Um, they make an interesting contrast. You've got a cool color and a warm color. They're both secondary colors. Um, but yeah, don't mix them together necessarily. Yeah. All right, so now it's time for stenciling, and we've pulled out an oldie but a goodie. We've got our dots from the Crafter's Workshop and some oh gosh, some Payne's Gray acrylic paint. And I'm just doing some dots here and there, just wherever it feels comfortable. Oh, and I got distracted, so now I'm gonna do the edges. I don't know, it just gives a more defined look to the page. That's a little ADHD coming through there. It's like, oh, distraction. So we'll come back to the stencil in a minute. First, we're gonna make a border all the way around. And that's okay. This is my process. Maybe your process is different. So yeah. And now I'm going to go in and add some smudges here and there, covering up things that, I'm just toning things down a little bit. Sometimes we use gesso to kind of tone our background down. Sometimes I use a dark color like a Payne's gray or a black to tone things down as well. I'm also going back with my stencil now. We're going to make more dots up here. And that is looking good. Okay. Gonna clean up our mess. Get that surface nice and clean for the next stage. All right, and now we're gonna get a little fancy with some gold paint. Yeah, this is gold acrylic. It's super shiny, which I love. And I'm gonna use this little piece of plastic to stamp a pattern onto my substrate. All right, that first stamp, not great. I tried applying it with the sponge, but it just didn't get enough on there. So I just stuck the plastic in the paint, and that seemed to work much better. It's still a grungy, incomplete look, but that's okay. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna push it down with both hands so we get a good mark. Do this one a little bit off the side. Yeah. Um, and just putting a little bit of random gold here and there. That plastic is one of those weaving templates, I think. I don't know what they're called. But people use yarn and they sew in and out, in and out, in and out, and get a lovely little coaster or whatever. I like to use them in my art as, you know, cool shapes to stamp with. Okay, so now I've removed my low tack tape, and fortunately, yay, my little sentiment is pristine. So I'm adding a little bit of gold around it. I just want to soften the edges because it's a rectangle and, it doesn't look um, as organic as the rest of this crazy piece. So just put a little bit of gold there just to kind of soften the edge, and I'll go in with some Payne's Gray a little bit later too. So yeah. I don't remember what I was doing here. I think I was looking for something. Did I find it? I don't know. Uh, yeah, while we're waiting, if you would like this video and subscribe to my channel, that would be much appreciated. Um, I am almost at 1,000 subscribers, y'all. This is getting very exciting. Yeah, so go hit subscribe. Okay. Oh, we've got an orange woody. Now I'm going in with this beautiful orange, which is very near the color of the orange paint we used earlier, and I'm just making marks. Um, it's great. It's great fun, and then I've got a clean brush with a little water on it, and I'm going in to soften some of the marks. And that's just to get rid of that rough crayon look and make it a little softer. And to kind of spread some of that color around too. You can move it a little bit when you add water to the pigment. And again, adding a little more color to that sentiment to kind of incorporate it into the image so that it's not just this white rectangle. Um, yeah. And here I'm just adding a little more water, moving that woody around, and then using a paper towel to remove any excess water or color that isn't working. All right. Yeah, these colors, I am enjoying the way they're turning out. All right, there's a little more Payne's gray there, and we're going to use the cosmetic wedge. I think, oh, apparently to really go around the edges now. We decided to just darken them up, kind of give it that, oh gosh, what's that filter called? Of course, I'm going completely blank, but giving this piece a nice dark, edge really makes it pop. Gives it a lot of contrast. Yeah. And now what I'm doing is I've curved the thin end of the cosmetics wedge to make kind of a U shape that I'm stamping here. Um, just making a pattern. Now I'm keeping it more straight, less curved, and adding in marks that way. And just like I said, just getting it all out of my system. Is this my favorite piece ever? No. It has elements that I really like. And in fact, this is a color combo that I might consider returning to in the future. Um, I really like the orange and the purple together, which I know some people might be like, ugh, no thanks. We're not wearing it out in public, y'all. We're just having fun with it. All right, looks like I'm done. I'm gonna stamp the date here and sign this piece. I really appreciate y'all watching, and I will see you next time.